The following program is a Town of Colonie television production of the William K. Sanford Town Library.
Welcome to Getting to Know You. My name is Joe Nash. Today we're talking to Dorothy Cucinelli. She's the Chief Executive Officer of Equinox, which of course is known for their Thanksgiving dinner every year, but the other 364 days out of the year, they're a very busy nonprofit. They have 11 locations. They serve over 5,000 people a year. They have about 200 employees. They have services for domestic violence. They have mental health services. They have chemical dependency programs. They have youth services. They have a youth outreach center. They have the, it's called Great Finds Thrift Boutique. And then they have the Thanksgiving dinner every year. It serves over 10,000 people. They've been doing that for 40 years. So welcome back. We've talked before.
Yes.
So you guys are very busy the other 364 days out of the year.
Yes, we are. Yep.
So now October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So I want you to talk about some of the services you have for domestic violence. You have a lot. You have shelter services, outreach. I think, well, just talk about some of the services and why this Domestic Violence Awareness Month, the importance of it.
Yeah, Domestic Violence Awareness Month is the month of October, and it's a national month where that is recognized. So we're part of that whole effort. And the services that we provide at Equinox run quite a large range, everything from emergency shelter, and it's shelter not just for women. That's what people, commonly think is the typical, there is such a thing, victim. But it's their children as well. We also serve men. Men can be victims of domestic violence as well. So there is a shelter. Unfortunately, it's full almost every day of the year. It's a very much needed service in our community, and we're happy to be able to offer it. In addition to that, we have a number of support services for victims of domestic violence and their children. And that ranges from supported apartments. We help people find apartments in the community. We do counseling for the victims. We have a very active elder abuse program, which is becoming more and more needed these days. And we're also working very closely with the courts on orders of protection and custody cases. So it's really a very broad range of service. And I just want to put the hotline number out there for anybody who might want to access that service. It's a 518 number, and it's 432-7865. It's a 24/7 number. There's always a live person that will answer that number. And I would encourage anybody who finds themselves in a domestic violence situations or thinks they might be to reach out and get some help.
So you said you're full all year round.
Yes.
How many people does the
the shelter serves, it has a capacity for 30 people.
30 people.
30 adults, and as I said, we do have children there as well, and it's children ranging from infants up through teenagers. So we keep the family together.
And when someone has to use this service, how long would someone, could they be there from anywhere from 2 days to 2 months, or how long would someone stay there?
It really varies depending on the needs of the person. It varies depending on what their preferences are. Some people are a shorter stay. Some people can be there for a matter of weeks. It really depends on the individual.
And when they're there, do they get some? What kind of services are offered them?
Counseling is a big one. It's really a matter of helping the person determine what they need, getting them the counseling, getting them the other supports that they might need. Housing certainly is an obvious one, but connection with other social service agencies if that's what they need, making sure that their kids are connected with schools on an ongoing basis. It's really a package and a wraparound approach that we give.
So one thing you mentioned, elder abuse, that's been increasing the last several years?
I don't know if it's so much increasing or if there's just a greater awareness of it, but what happens with elder abuse is a lot of it is financial control. As people get older and they are not able to care for their finances, it can be, that can be a form of abuse. It can be physical and emotional abuse. just like domestic violence can be for someone who is younger. So it really can run the gamut on that.
Okay. And you have found, when the elders are there, do they also get services too? Or?
Oh, sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, counseling for them.
Okay.
Family members sometimes will suggest that an elder person needs help with what they perceive to be an abuse situation. So, there's a lot of different ways that people can come to us, but whatever the way they come to us, we're there to help them.
All right. Well, that's just one of your many services.
Yes.
Now, also, October is a depression screening awareness month, or why don't you talk a little bit
One of
about
the areas of service that Equinox provides is mental health services, and we do everything from clinical treatment to in outpatient settings to a residential program. And because of our strong involvement with mental health, which has been a part of our organization since its inception, is that we do participate in programs that help people with depression. And October is National Depression Screening Month. I think there is a date when it's actually set aside for that. But it's an important thing for people to be aware of. Sometimes depression can be related to changes in season. We've heard of seasonal affective disorder, or SAD, S-A-D, which is related to the amount of sunlight that you get every day, and people in the Northeast are actually pretty susceptible to that. So if you feel like you're kind of dragging and you can't really explain why, it could be that it's related to the sunlight, believe it or not. So that's a milder form of depression usually, but we treat everything from cases of the blues, so to speak, all the way up to very serious depression where it really is life inhibiting. People can't get out of bed in the morning, that kind of thing, and they're suicidal and those terrible things. But depression is a really big problem.
And then when it says screening, do you actually offer screening?
Yeah, there is a screening instrument that's
okay.
pretty widely used. There's a number of different ones. People can actually go online too and do a self-test for depression screening. Sometimes that's helpful. They can bring that with them to their appointment and say, I took this online test. And
what's it, like a question and answer?
Yeah, it's a question and answer. You're asked to rate different factors of your life, like how well are you sleeping, your eating habits, interest in doing other activities and that sort of thing.
Now, you also have another component of your wide array of services here is for youth, and you have a youth, the youth organization, Youth Outreach Center. It's on Central Avenue, and you have many programs for youth. Why don't you talk about what you do there? And then you got this big grant you just had. I understand that the youth center might have been closing perhaps without this grant.
The Youth Outreach Center grant that we just got is a federal grant. It comes to us through SAMHSA, which is the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. It's a long name, but essentially it's part of the Department of Health and Human Services. And the grant, the grant that we got through them was for $1.4 million. So it's a lot of money. Obviously, it's a 5-year award. And it was a very competitive process, so we're especially proud that we were able to secure that grant funding.
I see you only 50 groups in the whole country got this?
Right, there were only 50 awards, and we were one of them. Yeah. So again, good for us. We did a great job on that grant application. We're really happy about that. But aside from just winning the grant, the other part of the reason why we're so happy about that is because this funding is going to go to support the Youth Outreach Center. It's a drop-in center essentially for teenagers in our community. So it's a place where they can go after school. We have homework help. We have necessary services like connecting them with housing if they are homeless.
But I see you have computers they can use.
Computers.
There's a gym there for playing sports.
Yeah, there's an area in the basement of the building where there's a mini basketball court where a lot of kids will go and play basketball. We have a very active partnership with the Albany Police Department. They send an officer there pretty regularly, and the officer will play basketball with the kids. Which I will just add is a really important thing for our community because it helps with that community engagement piece that I think so many other cities in the country are missing. So it's really an important part of our program, and we're very proud to have that. But getting back to the grant for a minute, had we not received this grant, we would have had to close this program. And it serves about 50 kids a day, not the same 50 every day, so it kind of changes from.
Is that all year round or just during the school year?
It's all year round.
Okay.
It's more active during the school year, but it is a safe place to go. We had federal funding for that. The federal funding had expired. We've all heard of the sequester and budget cuts and all of this at the federal level, and we unfortunately were the victims of that. And had we not been able to find funding to replace the funding that we lost, we would have closed the program at the end of the year, and we had actually planned to do that if we did not get this funding. So we're staying open. It's great. The money will give us the ability to do some other things that we have not been able to do along the lines of substance abuse prevention. We hear about the heroin epidemic a lot in the community, and some of the activities we will be doing are geared toward keeping kids away from that.
Well, I was going to say, besides a safe haven and sports and homework help, you're going to be offering some substance abuse
education,
testing, HIV testing,
HIV
some of these.
and hepatitis testing in conjunction with Whitney Young Health Center, which is our partner on other programs as well. But that testing is very important for this age group in particular.
Okay, and then it's right on Central Ave.
Yep, 95 Central Ave. Yeah.
Okay, and then when you say you have over 50 kids a day come, they're from all over the city, more or less?
Yeah, most of them are from the Arbor Hill, West Hill area. They come, from Albany High School, from some of the middle schools in the area. We're open from 3 to 8 every day during the week, and they come there after school. As I said, it is really important to make the point that it is a safe place for them to be. Keeps them away from drug activity, from gang activity. A lot of these kids, if we weren't there, would be on the streets. And in fact, we did at one point ask them, if we weren't there, where would you go? And what they told us was, we'd be on the streets. We might go home, but we don't really want to do that because, their home environments are not always stable.
Are some of the kids... or some of them, could they be classified as homeless, or are they just all?
Yeah, that's yes, they are. What happens with this age group is homeless can be defined as what's called couch surfing, meaning you call your friends and you say, I need a place to stay tonight, and they'll say, yeah, you can come stay at my house, my place. And they're sleeping on the couch for a while, and they move from friend to friend. They're not on the street sleeping on a park bench, but they don't have a home. And there are some youth who come to our program who are in that circumstance. And you look at the circumstances that brought them there. They can have parents who are drug abusing, who are involved in gangs, who for whatever reason, say to the kid, you can't live here anymore. They might be an LGBTQ youth, parent wants nothing to do with that. We see that fairly frequently, and the kids on the street at the age of 14, it's really pretty sad. So what we do is connect them with more stable housing, with other services, and try to be their lifeline as they move toward adulthood.
So this youth service center, how many years has that been open?
I think it's about 20.
Really?
It's a long time. Right. Yeah.
So this new grant will let you stay open for several more years. I noticed that it's divvied out so much a year for 5 years.
Right, it's a 5-year grant.
So it'll be open at least for 5 more years.
Yeah,
all right.
And
so
we
now
hope for a lot longer too.
but now you have time to work on other funding sources, I guess.
Exactly. Yes.
Well, and it's very interesting, talking to you. I know we talked before about all your services, and it is interesting, to me anyway, and maybe people watching. The Equinox is known for the Thanksgiving dinner, but you have this wide array. You employ 200 people. You're all over 11 locations. So let's talk about the thing you're most known for, which is one day out of the year. But I was mentioning when we started, you're busy the other 364. So what's new this year? For the Thanksgiving dinner, you serve 10,000 people. It's the 40-something year. You serve the homebound, the homeless, and lonely people. Tell us your annual... when you guys are in the news the most, it seems. You should be in the news more, but...
Well, yeah, we should. The Thanksgiving dinner is our big deal. You know, everybody knows us for that. Our unofficial sort of motto is we're more than just turkeys, you know, but everybody knows us for the dinner, and that's a good thing because it is a good thing for the community. But we do serve 10,000 dinners a year, and it is amazing to me. You know, we have families that have made this their annual tradition over the years. It's in its 46th year.
46, okay.
So we have people that when they were kids participated, and now they have their own kids. They're you know, bringing their families to continue their tradition. If you go to the Empire State Plaza on Thanksgiving morning, you know, there are thousands of, and I'm not exaggerating, thousands of people. We have people who are coming to pick up and deliver dinners. It's all done by volunteers. We have people that are, you know, dishing out the food and packaging it. It is a hub of activity, but the preparation for that starts about a week ahead of time. We have different groups coming in. We use the kitchens from the at the Empire State Plaza and the Office of General Services. I should say thank you to, because if it were not for them, we couldn't do this. The quantity of food, it is just mind-boggling. I mean, we have groups come in and they're all peeling potatoes. You know, this is not pre-prepared food. This is all from scratch.
I noticed, I think I said somewhere, does Price Chopper donate something like 1,000 turkeys?
Yeah, it's about 800 turkeys.
800, okay.
Yeah, they donate the turkeys. Community groups donate potatoes and cranberries and, you know, everything you need for a Thanksgiving dinner. It is just amazing to me, but the thing that is really amazing is people keep coming back year after year to volunteer for this. It really is a sense of contributing to the community for them, and you know, only in Albany. I mean, it's great. This is such a wonderful community that we have here, that people are willing to step up and do this year after year.
Now, I know a lot of the meals, Thanksgiving meals, are delivered, but there is a place where there's a sit-down, isn't there?
Yes, there is a sit-down dinner at the First Presbyterian Church in Albany. It's right off of Washington Park, and we serve about 500 meals there to people who are, you know, not wanting to be in their apartment or whatever. They want to be with other people. A number of them.
So it may
homeless.
not just be quote-unquote homeless people, maybe people who live alone or...
Right, who live alone or, you know, for whatever reason, you know, they don't want to cook and they can't. But yeah, there's about 500 people who participate, and it is a very nice dinner. We make it a point of, you know, there are tablecloths, you know, cloth tablecloths. You know, there are like real plates and you know, flowers on the table. It's not, you know, come and take a, you know, a styrofoam plate and go through the line kind of thing. It's really meant to be a celebration. It's a way for people to connect with their community, and it's a very nice tradition.
You say you serve about 500 there. The rest are all delivered? They
are all delivered by volunteers who, as I said, many of them come year after year, and we're very grateful for that. They come with, they've got their own equipment, you know, their coolers to keep things properly refrigerated and heated and all the rest of that. It is just amazing to me.
Now, if people want to volunteer, do you have enough volunteers, or is there always room for more?
You know, we always need more volunteers. And there's a Turkey Day hotline. I don't have the number with me, but I know if you go to our website, it is there.
Okay, the website will be on the screen. It's equinox.org.
Equinoxinc.org.
I'm sorry, equinoxinc.org. Okay.
Yep.
And as part of your Thanksgiving celebration, you're having a big, I guess it's a fundraiser.
Yes.
On November 5th, Thursday night, at the New York State Museum. I think 6:30 to 8:30.
It's 5:30 to 8:30.
5:30 to 8:30.
Right.
And why don't you tell us about that? And
yeah, this is a new fundraiser for us this year, and it's meant to be an event where people can come who've been connected with the dinner, who have been our friends and supporters of the organization all along. You know, it's a community event. Everyone is invited. We're having a lot of great things there. You know, it will be catered, so there'll of course be good food and drinks. So it will be in the Empire State Museum, which we thought was a nice venue for you know, a Thanksgiving theme. We are honoring Price Chopper this year because of their partnership with us for so many years. But not a lot of program. It's intended to be a place for people to meet other people, spend some time in a nice environment, and appreciate the season.
And this is the first time you're doing this?
Yes.
Now have you? I know it's early. We're filming this in October, what's today? The 16th.
16th, yeah.
Have you sold tickets yet, or is it just starting?
I think the invitations just have gone
just went out.
Right.
So that'll be okay.
Right.
Well, although we just talked about the Thanksgiving dinner, I just mentioned all the other services of Equinox. You're a big organization, and what was that expression you said?
Oh, we're more than just
More than
turkeys.
just
Right.
Have we forgotten anything?
I would just like to talk a little bit about the counseling center.
Oh,
which
okay,
is
sure.
Right, the Substance Abuse Counseling Center, also at 95 Central.
Which is another one of your services, which we didn't get to. But.
Right. But they do treatment for, alcohol and drug addiction. As I said, the heroin epidemic is a really big one. Prescription painkiller addiction is something that we're also seeing much more in the community. Alcohol addiction has been out there for many, many years, but we are certified by the state as a licensed provider. We work with the drug courts a lot, having people come to us for services sometimes after they've been arrested. So it's a very vital community service. We're happy to be there. That's us.
All right, well, we mentioned chemical dependency, domestic violence, mental health services, youth. So we have one more. We might as well just cover the gambit here. You have it's called the Great Finds Thrift Boutique.
Store.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, this is located on the corner of Washington Avenue and Henry Johnson Boulevard. It's on the first floor of the building, and it is a thrift store. It's really, you wouldn't think it's a thrift store from the outside of the building. It looks really well done. But we take in, it's women's clothing, we say gently used, so we're always taking donations. And it's really run to generate revenue to support the other programs. Okay. It is intended also to give people an opportunity to do some volunteer work that could be translated into paid work at some other time. So we have clients working in the store under supervision, and as I said, it's an opportunity for them to gain work experience, so it serves a double purpose.
Okay, so it's equinoxinc.org. Dorothy, thank you for being more than just turkey, your organization, for the wide range. I think when people go to your website and they see all this, they'll realize there's more going on than that. So thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And we will probably see you next year again.
Okay.
And we'll see you next time on Getting to Know You.